Hey, we're back with more Super Robot Wars 30. I left some notes to myself that I need to get out of dodge at the start of this mission, so I'm going to try to do that here. Really have to remember that the start button is auto battle, and I don't want that. Hoping to get reinforcements if I hang out on the edge of the map long enough. That was how the previous mission worked. Running away. They're putting up a better fight than I imagined. Can't keep fighting like this. Hooray, I was correct. One of dozens of robot games. That man, I detect a strong will from him. Curious if I can do any kind of map attacks. I don't think so. Somebody you can kill them in one hit. Yes. The 30th anniversary of the series. You start to Google Super Robot Wars or Super Robot Tyson, there's a lot of games. Super EM Yo-Yo. Very nice dodge. They don't attack my weak character, as we'll find out. It's Victoria 3. I still know very little about those games. I assume that they generally play like Crusader Kings. Not bad. Can't ignore damage there. Okie dokie. Shit, didn't mean to do that. Unnaturally fast, you say? I guess I'm just trying to imagine, like, what does it mean to sit down and focus on the game? Is it like... So we're talking like 50 hours or so? Nice crit. Very lucky. Forward for now. Yeah, makes sense. We've talked about that a lot, that focusing on the state versus interpersonal relations versus rulers and so on. I see. Dodge. I see. Bye. Oh, just dodge, that's fine too. Take that. I feel like Shadow Maru is one of my strongest characters because his evasion is like ridiculously high. Nice support attack. Like you're really incentivized here to put your party in a big tight formation like that. Do that after moving, right? Guess not. Nice. Tiger cannon. A war between Earth Noids and Space Noids. Oof, ouch. Vulcan's not very good for all this. Crit does like 1200 damage. Not super amazing, sadly. Could be bad. We'll be okay. Was it the last enemy? It's funny. Bye. Alright, Vigil Novel time. There's a child fighting? There's so many children fighting. I think of at least 3. Londo Bell is one of those names that I bet sounds really cool in Japanese. Rondo Beru. Curious, like, phonetically, what sounds in Japanese sound dorky to Japanese people. There's a lot of English words that sound dorky or uncool. Professional at seducing ladies on the job. Okay. Today will be the only time I permit you to involve yourself in strategic matters. I will at least refrain as much as possible. What? Should you return to the surface at any point, please visit San Francisco in North America. Wright's friend. It couldn't be. Presumably from another giant robot anime. This guy's face looks... I mean, everybody has a different style in this because it's drawing from so many properties. But he especially looks off. Child. How many miracle children do we have here? You feel like they would start to suspect it. I don't know to what extent that's a staple of the genre. I feel like less so compared to a lot of other anime. This guy is a guy. Love that there's 2 scars and 2 wonky eye colors. You gotta distinguish yourself, right? Mission ace. See what I can do for this. Sooner. Great. works in individual properties. It just becomes silly when you have all these properties colliding and they're like, what's with the child being here? It's like, dude, there's like 6 kids. Like, this isn't unusual now. I feel like this would be the perfect kind of product to play it a little bit less straight, you know? Like, this game is almost played shockingly straight, actually. Weapon upgrades are ridiculously expensive. Narrative Gundam, Apex. Okay. The recommended one. That's it. Okay. Game has the feeling of like somebody having a whole bunch of robot toys and like playing with them and making a story out of it. But I don't think it's ever been silly, which I feel like is unfortunate. Like, the premise is like fundamentally silly. I guess I have appreciated Japan has what seems to be a special talent for making media that's like deeply sincere despite being completely stupid. or very like fundamentally silly, like taking it seriously, which I enjoy. There's an aspect to this genre as an outsider that I don't know that I super understand. I guess I can maybe map it to like JRPG fandom, because I used to be like pretty hardcore into JRPGs and would play anything that was from Japan and described as an RPG. And I feel like there's something similar going on with giant robot fandom. That it's just like if there's giant robots like injected directly into my veins, is the kind of fandom you're reaching out to here. And obviously this game doesn't give me the full view of most of these properties that are featured, but so far I think it's only just like Gridman that seems like it's like trying to do something a little different. Everything else is just different flavors of giant robots. I've never seen Evangelion. I've heard good things about it. That's supposed to be like the riffing on the genre, right? It has some like interesting meta commentary on the relationship with the fandom. Take what you can get, yeah. always go by... Should be fine. I'll leave a note to myself about that in my text file. Mecha series running. One of them is probably a Gundam series. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of JRPGs that... Not that they feel unambitious. I guess maybe it's comparable to, like, in Hollywood, when you had this, like, insane amount of Western movies just because Westerns were popular, without really any, like, eye to trying to make the Westerns feel unique. Like another Western for Western's sake, right? It's not, like, special, necessarily. It's like a media saturation problem, I guess. I don't know. Light worship shut down. Enemy unit reaches the north edge of the map. Enemy units are divided into two categories, those that prioritize movement and those that attack allies. Okay, that's an interesting battle condition. I feel like this is the first time I don't want them to just come to me. Every JRPG is either 11 out of 10 anime, or remember how JRPGs were the shit in 1995. I wish I could describe it better. It's not saying that they're all bad necessarily, but I don't know, it's... I feel what is possibly like a snobbish affinity for media that, like, is by someone who's really invested and really has something they want to say. It feels kind of different from everything around them. And I feel like for a while that was JRPGs, but it hasn't been for a really long time. Even if it's not about something, they might have like a really exciting mechanic that they want to show off, you know? Or like the art is really gorgeous, or they want to feature the soundtrack or something. But I get this odd feeling with a lot of JRPGs, and I guess the mech genre, from a point of ignorance, not actually having watched very much of it, that it's just like, it's about giant robots because people like giant robots, right? I kind of want to watch that Gridman one, though. That sounds like it's trying to say something. Has a core idea. I guess it's like, it reminds me of a lot of like 80s and 90s children's cartoon television, where it was all just a gigantic toy advertisement, right? You go back and you watch a lot of that stuff. You try to watch like the Ninja Turtles cartoon from the 80s. It doesn't hold up. It's quite bad. Stuff like G.I. Joe, you know. Or like He-Man. Yeah. I think there's kind of a frustrating confusion of story with text. There's a lot of text in this game versus this game is about something from a story perspective. I don't think that like Final Fantasy or Chrono Trigger are like these like deeply meaningful like works commenting on the human condition or anything like that, but they also don't feel like they're like filling time. If that makes sense. The G.I. Joe cartoon from the 80s feels like it's filling time. But there's like variants of all of this stuff that's actually quite good. Like, I remember I've rewatched Beast Wars someone recently, which is a Transformers spin-off, where they turn into animals instead of cars. I think it was actually really good. It had some good episodes. It like had themes and stuff, you know? And it seemed like the people that were making it were interested in making something that wasn't just, you know, trash children's media. Like, I don't even need it to be, you know, really thought-provoking or deep or thematically interesting. I like getting the feeling that the creators are like really into this shit, you know? Especially if they're making children's media where it's like, I grew up and I really like giant robots, so I'm so happy to be able to make a show about giant robots. That's like, I'm into that stuff. You can kind of feel their passion for it. A golden mobile suit. Quattro Bahina. Nani? Char as an Able. Okay. I don't need to move, that's okay. What do you think of like other children's media that doesn't have this weird like glazed over feeling for me? Why should I care if the creator didn't? Yeah. It's probably unfair for me to insinuate that the creators of some of the giant robot stuff featured in this game didn't care. It's probably not true. I haven't actually watched them. It's just I don't feel the passion like I sometimes do in other media, and it's kind of hard to put my finger on why. I guess the better comparison for this game specifically isn't about the individual properties represented. It's about the like Smash Brothers style mixing and matching of all of them in one place. Smash Brothers is a good example of a game where you can really feel that like Sakurai really gives a shit. He's really trying to represent these as well as he can and kind of make them all stand out from each other, you know? I guess the children's media that came to mind is like anything from like Jim Henson Studios at the same time. Like, I don't think that like Labyrinth or Dark Crystal is like this incredible thematic work of art that really says something important or anything like that, but it's like I feel like everyone involved in every Jim Henson project really gives a shit. They give it their all. Bummer. At least I did the persist. Long Mega Buster. Long, long man. I see. Yeah. I assume the mecha fandom, it's not, this isn't really comparable to like, I keep comparing it to 80s cartoons, like Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe and Transformers and stuff, but like I feel like there is and has basically always been a pretty thriving adult fan base for giant robots. I mean, I would still go see a new Ninja Turtles movie if people said it was actually good. It doesn't 100% come from a place of like nostalgia. It does make me wonder if that ties into what Spiky was saying, that like a lot of JRPGs are either running on you like anime, so this is super anime, or do you remember how JRPGs used to be good? Anyway, I think it's an interesting, like, art discussion. There can't be that many genres of art that have a fan base that will consume almost anything that comes out from it, just because they kind of have something in common like this, you know? I mean, I guess you've got stuff like comic book movies, but even then, there's at least theoretically the promise that, like, the different superheroes in each movie have, like, a different power set, right? So there's something just fundamentally different about, I don't know, the Scarlet Witch or Captain America or something. Like, yeah, maybe you're not terribly discerning about the themes or the quality of the films as long as it has people in long underwear punching other people, but here, I can't really tell you the difference between the majority of these giant robots, other than Gridman. Gotta make sure I kill these guys before they run past me here. Like, it literally seems like they'll, like, marvel at the fact that, like, a character has a different color paint, right? Like, oh my god, it's a golden Gundam. It's like, okay, but, like, why is that a big deal? No. Let me watch the animation for this guy. So you're just seeing him for the first time here.
ここはこれが確実か。もらった。お互いに不幸だったな。リフスラッシャー。
I'm trying to think if there's an enduring subgenre that's not Japanese. It's not giant robots that kind of has a similar level of saturation and like dedication of a fan base, you know.
よくもやってくれたな。来るなら来い。
World War II fiction. I can see that. You can make any number of World War II war movies or books or whatever that aren't really saying anything unique, but it's another thing that's in World War II for the people who are into that. That makes sense. I'm gonna turn animations back off here in a sec. It's one of the coolest looking robots. So it has a lot going on. I guess there's a lot of really generic horror. That's probably the one that speaks to me the most closely. There's a lot of like horror movies that exist just to exist. Not because anybody really cares about whatever demon or ghost is in their movie or whatever. You know. And I know people who will just consume all horror. Doesn't really matter what it's about or who it's for or what the twist is this time. Who loved Diablo 2 when they were 13 and play every game that tries to be vaguely similar to recapture that energy. Is it pronounced Evangelion or Evangelion? Like, I assume it's the same root as evangelist, so that's a J sound, right? I feel like I've heard it pronounced with the G. Evangelion? Okay. Okay. I've heard that, having not watched it, I actually feel like I should definitely watch it now, that it's critical of giant robot anime in a way that's kind of interesting, and which also upset the giant robot fan base somewhat. Which makes sense if we're mapping it to something that's oversaturated like horror, right? Where like every now and then you'll get an actually really interesting horror movie that's more like, you know, existential horror or social horror or psychological horror, and you'll get people on the internet bitching that where were all the jump scares, right? And it's like, okay. What are we watching this for? Better start talking, Char. Mean that it's rare that it's missing from this? I thought its absence was conspicuous. Oh, it is, okay. Forcing humanity into space to save the Earth? Who the hell asked for that? Even I can feel shame, you know. Peace offering. Spaces move. That's interesting. Probably should have gone into this first. Full armor Hyaku-Shiki Kai. I'm not gonna be able to finish this one, but I'll start it here. Make sure I save real quick. Oh man, he's got a new vest, new glasses. The world has no more need of Char Aznable. You're curious about the man who tried to commit the greatest mass murder in history. Pretty extreme version of like Dragon Ball, let's be friends with our enemies. Honey? The Psycho Frame reacted to you. It's like a full-on Auga klaxon. Oh, art. Get this done so I can head into space. I'll probably kill 3 of them, actually. Hey, thanks, Gimme Onion. Appreciate that. No worries, no pressure. Also earn SP and Sears if you just AFK, so. Well, that works. It moved me back to where I was at the beginning. Nani? For sure. Hey, called it. Probably a good stopping point. Trying to bait them out. I like this formula of we're going to put you in a mission with the new character by themselves and just run away for like 3 rounds. Which isn't you game over if you get too close into it. Oh, he got over that real fast. Future Marstead, you just started this mission. Remember to use continue from the main screen. The most important new note, you now have enough robots that you can't use all of them in every combat. So when you go to deploy in descending order of strength, right? So that you're using your strongest units. Keep trying to put points into Shadow Maru because he seems super busted. Like his evasion's so high that he like never gets hit, which seems great. Yeah. Thanks, Mega Man.
ここまで来たら仕方ない。
Reset and try again.